Hi guys, welcome back to the Liberated Mommy YouTube channel. My name is Alexia and today I wanted to talk to you about 10 things that you should consider before actually becoming a work-at-home mom. And these 10 things are going to focus on the business side of things and what it feels like when you're trying to actually get your work done. So, first thing is that you are going to have constant interruptions. If working with getting constantly interrupted is not for you, then maybe working from home is something that you need to reconsider, or you need to consider that in figuring out how you're going to set up your day. Maybe your child needs to go to daycare, even though you're going to be working from home, because when you have kids and you're trying to sit on the computer and work, you're going to have the child going to come up and try to talk to you. They need a snack, they fell and did this, whatever. If you can't stay focused, or you can't stay in the zone when you constantly have that interruption, then you need to figure out what you're going to do before you get to that point. The other thing is that it felt like, for me, that everybody felt that since I was sitting at home, they could just call me. So you have to set up those boundaries. That is another thing. Okay, so constant interruptions. Number 2, you're going to have really odd work hours. So even though you work for yourself, you're going to have really strange hours. And this is something that I just wasn't expecting when I transitioned from working a 9-to-5 to working from home. You're going to feel weird, especially at first, that in the middle of the day, you're not working. Potentially because you can't, because if you have kids at home, if that's one of the reasons that you're a work-at-home mom now, you may have your kids with you all day. And let me just tell you, like I said from the first tip, it is really, really hard to get work done with the little ones around. So you might be having to work in the middle of the night. You might have to work, like get up early, like super early before your kids wake up, or stay up really late. Or maybe it's like a random weeknight and, your mother-in-law can take your kids for a little bit, and then you have like this, between the hours of 5 and 8 in the afternoon, you're able to work on your business. So you need to be willing to work those odd hours. Number 3, you need to be willing to adapt. Part of that is that you need to be willing to work those really weird hours. But by willing to adapt, I mean that let's say that you had it totally planned out that you were going to work on this very thing from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock because your son always goes to bed by 9 o'clock, but today he did not. He was throwing a fit, whatever, and he didn't get to bed till 10 o'clock at night. You have to be willing to be okay with that. And as a mom, you're probably used to that kind of adjustment, but combining that flexibility in your schedule with your work schedule is something that probably hasn't happened before. When you had your job before, you worked your 9-to-5, you got your work done because you were at your 9-to-5, and then you could come home. Now, the pressure of working from home makes those little interruptions feel more like a big deal. Because when you worked your 9-to-5, somebody could come in and start chit-chatting with you, and you're like, oh man, I didn't get this thing done. I'll just do it tomorrow. But when it's like everything relies on you, the money is based on your effort. When your toddler comes in and just like won't go to sleep and they want to read a book and all you need to do is get this thing done for your business, it's going to be challenging. So keep that in mind, that you have to be willing to adapt and be able to adjust. Maybe you got to stay up later. Maybe you got to move things around, whatever. Okay, number 4, you're going to have inconsistent sales and money. That's a big one. That's really, really hard. I just posted a video on this recently about the fear of missing out and the fear of the money and how hard that is to deal with. So check that out. But the inconsistent, if you're selling things online, maybe you do eBay or Poshmark, or maybe you're doing affiliate marketing, or you have a blog and you're trying to push products, your own products, it's going to feel like you're desperate. Like if somebody could just please buy something. And you don't want to feel like that. It makes you feel kind of like a sleazy salesperson. No offense to any salespeople out there. But you don't want to feel like you desperately need that sale. So figuring out how to be okay, if you know on the front end that things are going to be inconsistent, just keep working. Keep doing what you're doing, and figure out like how you can be consistent. So if you can create systems that will help your business be more steady. So if you're blogging, then maybe you create evergreen funnels. If you're doing eBay, maybe you have items that are consistent sellers that are replenishables, or maybe you just have this backlog of stuff that you're able to just keep pushing through the pipeline. You build your store up and people will buy things eventually. You get the idea. All right, number 5, there's going to be lots of computer work. So probably if you're working at home on a business, you are probably going to be sitting at the computer or on your phone so much. So if you have back problems, if you have eye problems or carpal tunnel or whatever, definitely keep that in mind. There are things you can do. You can get the standing desk. You can get a really good computer chair. You can, get the things that go over the screen that help with the light stimulation, stuff like that. And it's a lot. So you just want to make sure that you're aware of that before you get started. Okay, next thing. You need to be willing to research. So I have heard people want to start a side hustle business and they're like, can you just tell me what to do? Just tell me everything I need to know. And I get it. Like, I get wanting to know everything and just have somebody tell you. But A, somebody can't tell you everything. B, what if they're wrong? C, what if they're not telling you the things that you need to know? So you need to be willing to do the work on your own. So learn how to research. So if you are selling, let's say shoes, let's say on eBay or Poshmark, you're selling shoes and you've heard other people talk about, certain brands. Well, you might want to expand your own knowledge. So taking some time to research the different things that people are buying. So going on to eBay and Poshmark, looking at what items have sold, for what value, looking at what you have in your area. When you're out at the thrift store or you're wherever, notice what people are wearing, notice what shoes are available to you. If you see a bunch of men's dress shoes, maybe you need to brush up on which styles are in, which styles are the most valuable, what brands are the most valuable. You get it. If you're not willing to research, you're going to be stagnant. You're going to work on your business and things change. Like, you have to adapt, right? Things change, and if all of a sudden all of those types of shoes that you bought, and it's like years from now or even months from now, and it changed, now you don't know what to do, and you have to be willing to research and build your business. So expanding it, constantly trying to grow. Okay. You will have ebb and flow in your business activity. So sometimes you're going to be able to really crank out a bunch of content or a bunch of listings. You're going to be able to do a bunch of stuff on your business. And then other times you're not going to be able to, whether it's because family events, you're traveling, or you just can't seem to get the schedule quite down right, or whatever happens. You need to be okay with that, but you also need to be prepared for that. So if you can set things up, if you can get a bunch of work done, then maybe schedule it out in some way to where overall it's spread out. Instead of doing a bunch of work in bursts, you can do a bunch of work, which is called batching. You can batch the work and then spread it out to where it doesn't release until later on. So that until the next time you batch, it looks like you've been working the entire time. And that can help your business no matter what you're doing. If you're selling on eBay or Poshmark, it works out well because it looks like you have constant activity. If you have an online store, like a Shopify store, or if you have a blogging business, you're able to constantly be feeding into that, and it doesn't look like you're stagnant in between. The urge to work on all ideas. I just did a video about that. It is going to feel, because of that lack of consistency with money, and plus, if you're an entrepreneur, then you're going to have all these ideas. I mean, I'm constantly coming up with ideas and things that I could do and I want to do and I want to try it and it's fun. And you're in charge of your own time as a work-at-home mom. So that's awesome, but it's also dangerous. Be careful. Don't work on all the things. You can put them down somewhere, have a notebook. I love this Rocket book to be able to write my ideas down in, and then I just scan them into Google Drive and it keeps them for me. I love this thing, so I have to do brain dumps every day and be like, here are all my ideas, here are all the things I'm interested in, but you have to be careful not to chase each shiny object, right? You're focusing on your main business and stick with that. If you want to try 1 or 2 side hustles, then focus on those on the side. So just be careful. You're going to want to kind of chase everything, but stick with your main business and focus on it. Another big thing is that you will have like no accountability. So it's awesome, but it's terrifying at the same time. It's awesome because now nobody's telling you what to do. You don't have to be anywhere by a certain time. You can do whatever you want, right? That's the cool part about working from home, but that's also really dangerous. If you don't do well being held accountable to yourself, because that's the only person there is, then you might want to implement a system where you are being held accountable. Either you find a physical friend, a family member to constantly check in on you, or somebody you have to kind of report to, not officially, but kind of be like, this is what I've been doing, and hold true to that. Your spouse can be a good one for that. My spouse definitely, I like to say, hey, I'm making money, not, hey, I did 10 different things that made no money. So that's good. Maybe if you don't have those things or you don't want to use those things, you can find Facebook groups, and be careful about that because people can get kind of complainy, is that a word, in the Facebook groups, but maybe you can find one that you can share and do an accountability partner with. Another way is Instagram and social media. So if you want to report your numbers, report your progress, share that kind of thing, I've done that. It can help you feel kind of like, oh, I don't want to show next time that I made zero progress. You want to look like you've done something. So that can be a good motivator. Or doing like a mastermind type group. You can find a couple of people that are in your same niche, or same, like maybe everybody sells online, or everybody blogs, or whatever. And then you can hold each other accountable that way. So those are some good ideas. So the final thing that you should definitely consider is that you need to love this. You need to love the business that you've chosen. Do not, I repeat, do not try to go work from home on something that you don't care about. Because it reminds me of going to grad school. They always said, do not go to grad school just to go to grad school. Because when something is so hard like that, you need to want to be there. So working from home is a huge emotional, like, roller coaster that I was not expecting. And if you don't love what you're doing, then the first hurdle that you run up against, you're going to want to quit. So make sure that whatever side hustle you're going to focus on as you're working your full-time job, make sure you find the right one. So you can keep trying it out, but when you find one and that you like it, then go for it. Don't pick something just to be able to escape the 9-to-5, because then you're just going to be miserable working at home for yourself. And then it's gonna feel like it's harder to do than it was working your full-time job, because you, on top of not liking what you're doing, you don't have consistent sales and all the things I just mentioned, right? So make sure you find something that you love. So I hope that those tips are helpful. Remember, keep those in mind. So I'll do a quick recap. So you're going to have constant interruptions. You're going to have really odd work hours. You need to be willing to adapt to whatever comes at you. You're going to have inconsistent sales and money, so be prepared for that. Lots and lots and lots of computer work. You need to be willing to research to be able to help your business grow. You're going to have ebb and flow in what you're able to do for your business. You're going to have this urge to work on a million different ideas, so stay focused. There's going to be little to no accountability, so you need to figure that system out, and then you need to love the business you've chosen. So I hope that helps you make a decision about whether working from home is really for you, or at least gives you some ideas of things that you need to overcome before you get there so that you can be successful when you finally make that transition. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Click the subscribe button if you want to get notified of more content like this, and click the bell to get notified when those videos come out. Thank you so much.